Atmospheric rivers are important here in California because they are one of the greatest risks for floods here in California.
The troubling part with atmospheric rivers is that when you get too many of them, it can lead to things like flooding, debris flows, landslides, and other hydrometeorological impacts.
For the hurricane hunters to be here and be able to fly atmospheric river to collect the data is extremely important. Such a big tier effect